everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for this live stream presentation, Summer Family Evenings, Classic Air Medical. I'm Katie Brule, Executive Director at the Pajarito Environmental Education Center, or PEEC, located in Los Alamos, New Mexico, and I'll be the moderator for tonight's presentation. I want to first give a huge thanks to Del Norte Credit Union for making Summer Family Evenings possible for the 6th year in a row. They've been great partners to PEEC in bringing the summer fun every year. We have Summer Family Evenings scheduled every Wednesday in June and July at 6 p.m. You can visit peeknature.org to see the full list and to register for the other presentations. Check your email after tonight's presentation. We'll be sending you an evaluation that will give us important information to improve future presentations and to report to the county. We're able to offer programming at this time because of our wonderful members and donors, so I'd like to send a special thank you to them for their generous support. Unfortunately, as I hope you've heard, we won't be able to go along live with the helicopter tonight, but we'll be there for the pre-flight checks. We'll get to meet the crew and see the helicopter. The flight will be recorded, and we'll let you know as soon as you can view that on PEEC's YouTube channel. And while the flight is going on, you can go outside and wave to the helicopter if it flies over your house. We're so glad to have Classic Air Medical with us tonight. They have been providing air medical transport for over 30 years in Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Idaho, New Mexico, and Wyoming. They do both emergency rescues in the backcountry and transport from rural hospitals. Their speaker tonight is going to be Rachel Medvin, and I am going to turn it over to her now.
Hi, can everyone see us? Okay, I'm Rachel. I'm one of the flight nurses, and we're all going to come around and introduce ourselves before we start showing off the helicopter.
Oh. There you go. Okay, so this is Rachel Medvin. She is our public relations representative and one of our awesome flight nurses. This is Megan. She's one of our flight nurses, and this is Chad, our pilot in command. Let me flip around here. My name's Kevin. I am the base manager, and I support the base here in Los Alamos. We feel very lucky to be here in the community. It's an amazing community. I've worked all over the state, and I must say I am partial to this community. So thank you all very much for your support and jumping on this evening. If you don't know, we are based here at Los Alamos Medical Center with one of the most beautiful backdrops from wherever I've worked. So tonight we're going to go ahead and show you a view of the helicopter, tell you a little bit about our jobs, and then you're going to be able to walk around with our pilot and see our pre-flight checks. Safety is our #1 priority. So we are a crew, so we want to make sure that the helicopter is safe to go before we lift. After our pre-flight checks are complete, we're going to, you'll be able to stand under the helicopter with us, watch it start up, and then Rachel's going to video us taking off. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump in, show you the helicopter.
Okay, so we'll start on this side. We'll open up. This is where we would place a patient when we do our transport. Let me open up this door here.
So as you can see back here, it's a pretty tight configuration. What we like to say is it's basically a flying ICU or ER. From a ventilator, as I'm sure you all have heard a lot about during COVID season right now. This is also known as life support. So if somebody needs help breathing, this is the ventilator we put them on. The patient's head goes right here, and this is how we help them breathe.
Yeah. We also have our monitor here, which is a defibrillator. So if you see anything on Hollywood, that's where they shock the patient. So we can do that while we're en route if need to. We also have an IV pump. So if we need to give medications over a drip rate or something a little bit slower that we need to titrate, we do have that capability. And another one of these in the back. We have a bunch of medications here that we carry with us at all times. This is, this bag here and this one here. We always have that on us, medications for just about anything you could think of. Our scene bag here does weigh about 40 pounds. We carry this with us when we go on search and rescues or when we do our scene call. I have carried this myself down a hill once. It is not fun, but we figured it out. And and it has everything on it. And anything that we can need to stabilize a patient for wounds, traumatic injuries, or any medical illnesses. We can also show how we unload this, so we can put a patient on there as well, and we'll move that out. This is just more medical supplies that we have. Of course, now with COVID, we have face shields and goggles, which are a lot of fun, but I'm not going to put them on.
You can see our N95 here. As you all know, they are in very high demand. So we have these readily available, and we're wearing masks and protective equipment on each and every flight now. So with it already being hot in our flight suits, we just have a little more added gear. So it's important to stay rested, hydrated, and physically fit during this time.
That's true. That's right, Kevin. We'll come around and we can show you how we unload our little sled to put a patient on.
All right, Rachel's going to be walking around here.
Okay, so it's like Kevin was saying, it's a super tight fit in here, but we are able to unload this, and this will actually come off. If we were on a scene, we can take this off, put it on the ground, and everyone can kind of come in and help lift the patient into here safely. Or in a facility, we just kind of slide people up, and it works really, really well. It's a really nice system to have, because a lot of helicopters do not have this, and it makes it a lot easier to get a patient into the helicopter.
All right, and any questions from the community so far about the inside of the helicopter, what our capabilities are? As we kind of talked about, on every flight, we have a paramedic, a nurse, and a pilot. We all come with a different background and a different skill set, which really blends very well in this environment.
Yeah, folks, if you have any questions for the crew, just type them into the chat and I can relay them.
All right, and if we don't have any further questions, I think we're going to go ahead and close the door up, and we're going to walk around with Chad, our pilot, and he's going to talk about our pre-departure checklist and what we're looking for on the helicopter before we take off on flights.
All right, so when we go fly around, I just basically make sure everything's closed. Check all these fasteners up front, on here. Walk around and check the skids. Basically, I look top to bottom, make sure there's nothing that's going to interfere with the aircraft. Check the fuel cap, check this cover here. These two covers up top, there's a total of 10 fasteners that I have to check and make sure they're all shut before we lift off, make sure nothing opens up during flight. And I just walk under here, take a look back towards the tail rotor, and same thing on this side. I check the baggage compartment, make sure that's closed. All these fasteners up here, once again, skids, doors. Then after that, we just make sure everything's good. Everybody's comfortable with the flight. We get in and go.
Yeah, and as Rachel mentioned, we do have a lot of equipment. So we have a checklist before we take off as well. So I think Rachel's going to go around and grab that. But just like pilots, when they get in the cockpit, they have a checklist which they go through before we start up. And then our medical equipment checklist back here in the back. So as you can see here, we make sure that all cords and cables are clear, the plugs and covers are removed, our night vision goggles are on board, we have all of our chart and paperwork, we have our monitor, our ventilator, our pump, our airway equipment, our ultrasound, our medications, and then we're verifying our destination. Any questions from the community so far?
Yeah, someone wants to know where you're going to be flying tonight.
Yeah, so we're going to be flying. Of course, we have FAA regulations on what altitude we can fly at. So we're going to be flying at the lowest legal and safest altitude tonight. And we're going to be flying all throughout the community. So hopefully we'll be able to see. We're going to depart from the hospital here. We're going to be going out here, as you can, let me flip the camera around. We're going to be departing to the kind of to the southeast. We're going to be going, oh, I'm sorry, my mistake. We're actually going to be going out here to the west. So we're going to fly west, and then we're going to go up and around the hospital, kind of over up into the north, and then hit the, go east, and then come back around and make a loop and approach from the, kind of from the southeast here.
Great, thank
So
you.
we'll be looking for you all, and we'll wave to you if we can out the window.
Someone asked, what is the garden hose used for?
The garden hose inside the helicopter, I'm assuming that's what they're talking about. If you're talking about this is actually an oxygen hose. So this connects to our ventilator, and then this end piece here is going to connect into our wall to supply oxygen when a patient is on the ventilator.
Great, and we have one more question, which is, someone said they have a radio, and will you be on Unicom?
On Unicom? 123.0.
Okay, great. Oh, another question. What do they enjoy the most about flying? What do you enjoy the most about flying?
Yeah, I would say, you know, first off, I think we all get into this because we enjoy helping people. We all have a passion for helping our community and helping patients. So that's by far the best part of the job, making a difference in people's lives. Second off, you get to do that at 8,000 to 12,000 feet in this area with the most beautiful scenery in the state, and for me, in the nation. So I think we have the best of both worlds.
We sure do. This is our office. The best coworkers.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Yeah, and you know, it's something new and different every day.
Great, thank you. That's all the questions I have right now.
All right.
So what we will do is let the crew go ahead and get in. I will take the phone and the camera, and we will start up. And I will stand underneath the rotor discs. We can hear the helicopter start up, and then I'll actually be able to walk out from underneath it. You guys can kind of get a feel what that's like for us to kind of get in and out of the helicopter when it's running.
That sounds great. And Rachel, if you want to stay on after they take off, there are a few more questions coming in, so maybe we can answer those before we go outside and watch for it.
Fabulous. Yeah, and we can keep asking questions now while the crew is getting ready to take off. Of course, I'm not going to be in there today. I came in just to do this event, and they are going to be ready to take a flight in case there is a patient that calls, or a hospital that calls us with a patient. So if they do divert, I'll be able to tell you guys, and then you can kind of watch them speed off into the wind to go save some life.
That sounds good. We've got a question. Do you ever work with search and rescue dogs?
We do. I have not worked with a search and rescue dog myself yet. I'm still new to this business here out in New Mexico, but we have worked with them. I don't know if they have been inside the helicopter yet. Kevin can shake his head yes or no if they have.
In our cruise in Vernal, Utah, we did a lot of training exercises with the canines.
Neat.
Awesome. So we'll kind of let them, they can hear us a little bit with their helmets on, but we'll just kind of watch them, you know, get into the groove of taking off for a flight. And then, of course, like I said, they are ready to rock and roll if we do get a paid from a hospital or a scene or a search and rescue. Are there any other questions while we're standing here getting ready?
Yeah, someone wanted to know, what weather conditions can you not fly in?
Sure. So we cannot fly in lightning. We cannot fly in any sort of fog where we wouldn't be able to see the ground. We always need to be able to see the ground where we're flying. And we need to always be able to fly above the highest obstacle, which out here I think is around 13,000 feet we allow for Pajarito Mountain. Of course, in Santa Fe or up in Taos, that goes a little bit higher. But so we can fly in rain. Oh, they're ready to start. We can fly in some rain, just no lightning. We can fly in snow. There just has to be, we have to watch out for dew points and fog for that. Sorry, I'm watching them get ready to rock and roll here. They're going to start starting up. Ready to go. And I'll come up here just to kind of see the pilot doing his thing. I won't open the window because I don't want to bother him while he's doing his pre-flight whatnot, but we can just kind of watch. But you guys can ask questions and I can keep talking. He can't hear me.
Okay, someone wanted to know, for the weather question, there was a follow-up. What about if it's hailing?
Hailing. So usually hail comes with some big clouds. I guess maybe not always out here. We won't go and hail. If we hit hail, we will kind of sort of divert from that cloud, if you will. But if it's hailing and we get a page, we'll probably try to wait out that storm. The storms out here, good start. The storms out here tend to go fast, don't they? You know, especially a hailstorm.
Yeah, definitely. So people are asking, are you on? Oh.
Sorry, 1 second. So they're starting up. Okay, well, that was super loud, but off they go. It's going around kind of the west side of Los Alamos, and they're gonna head up towards the nature center, and they should be hovering around there. They're gonna go as low as I can, about 300 to 500 feet above ground. So you guys will hear them. What kind of questions do you have?
Awesome. Someone wants to know if you are on standby for requests for hospitals in the whole region.
So hospitals can request us and put us on standby if they don't have a bed available yet or an accepting doctor, but they have a super sick patient. So they can call us and put us on standby, and we will treat it as it is a activation, and we will come to the helicopter and we just kind of hang out here. We do have our little Connex back here that has a lot of the pilot supplies, but we can wait in there, and as soon as they do launch us, then we are ready to go, and it won't take much time. But we have been on standby for many hospitals and many different police departments as well while we wait.
So basically, you'll take requests from anywhere in northern New Mexico or anywhere in the state?
So there are a lot of medical services out in the state, and there are a ton of hospitals down south and up here. That also comes with a lot of different air ambulance companies as well. So we are more northern New Mexico, but we have been called out to Las Vegas. We have been called down way by Albuquerque to just respond to something if their air ambulance is not available. So we have gone farther, but it's usually northern New Mexico and up here.
Okay, great. Someone would like to know, in addition to a nursing or medical degree, what other degrees or special training do you need?
Sure. So for a paramedic, they have to have about 3 to 5 years of experience. They also need to be a certified critical care paramedic as well, and that comes along with a board certification. And for a nurse, I needed, well, all of us nurses, we need to have about 5 years of critical care experience. That could be ICU and or ER. I was just ER myself. Also, we need to be certified, so I had to get a certified emergency nurse certification. It's a test, it's a board certification, and I also have a certified flight registered nurse cert as well. So we have to have I have a bachelor's of science in nursing, so I have that degree, and then I have my advanced certifications.
Wow, how long does it take to get certified for flight training?
Well, so I went through about a year of pretty intense training, and of course it never ends. We're still always educating and whatnot every day, but I did about a full year of really hard studying, and then I took my test.
Wow, that's neat. Okay, someone wants to know how often you get called out.
Here in Los Alamos, we average about 1 flight per day, and sometimes it feels like when I'm working, we will get about 6 flights a day and then nothing for 3 days. So it's about an average 1 per day.
Great. How far do you usually fly, or what's the farthest you've flown for one trip?
Sure. So we really can take a very long flight if we need to, if we are the closest available asset to a patient. The farthest I have gone is up to Denver with a patient. We do have a sister base in Pagosa Springs, and if they're on a flight or they have a scene call, we have responded to that area and transport a patient up to Denver. We have also we have quite a few calls out of Fort Defiance right now. With the COVID and whatnot, because it is a reservation, they're very, very busy and they're getting hit hard. And then I think one night we went to Alamogordo, and I might be saying that wrong. I'm still sort of new to this area, but that's pretty far from here, I would say.
Cool. All right. Someone said that the helicopter just went over their house and they waved.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I can't hear them from here. We always think that, we can hear it when they take off. I can hear them from my apartment, of course. I listen to them when I'm not at work because I'm weird. But.
All right. Zoe wants to know how you become a paramedic.
Well, so I can't really totally speak for paramedics. I know how I did it for nursing school, but there is a degree, or I think the UNM offers a paramedic school, or at least something in Albuquerque or Santa Fe, but it is a degree that I know of. Or people can become an EMT basic and work for the fire and kind of climb the ladder with that. I'm not totally versed in that stuff.
All right, great. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions, or are you all outside waving to the helicopter? Someone wants to know how fast the propellers go.
So I know we can go about over 100 knots. I know we do a little bit faster than that, but I wish my pilot was here because he would be able to tell you the exact number. I'm not too sure, but I know they go super fast and you don't want to walk into them. That's why you didn't see any of us walking behind the helicopter. The pilot might have walked underneath the helicopter by the belly of it, but nobody walks by oh, here they come. Nobody really walks by the back of the helicopter because of the tail rotor. And let's see if you guys can see from my phone, and they will land. So I will just actually hang out over here while they land, which is also very cool and quite dusty.
Somebody wants to know if you can take a passenger in addition to the patient.
We can. We have done this a lot. When we fly children, we usually always take mom because that makes everybody happier. I know I would want that if I was a mom or a child. But we have taken patients just with family members if the weight allows. So it's going to get super loud here, but we will watch them land and. one of the most dangerous parts to walk near a helicopter during startup and shutdown, because the blades, if there was any wind, you could see they're kind of on an angle here. If Kevin were to walk outside of the rotor disc and we had some wind, that could hit him right in the head. So we maintain good distance and we are not near the helicopter. Hey Chad, I have a question for you. Somebody asked, how fast do the rotors spin? And I said, that's a pilot question.
Fast.
Fast.
I did the math on it a long time ago. It was somewhere around 750 miles an hour.
There you go.
Wow. And how fast were we flying through the community?
We were only doing 60 knots.
Okay.
65 miles an
Okay, and on an average transport, what would you say? How fast did we go?
hour. 140 miles an hour.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
We couldn't quite hear what he was saying. Can you repeat his answers?
Yes. So let's see here. We had a question about how fast the blades spun, and he said about 750 miles an hour. And we were going about 60 knots when we were flying through the community, and that's about 65 miles an hour.
And on an average transport, we're going about 140.
These are the guys, the lucky ones that were in the helicopter.
Someone also wanted to know how long the rotors are, and someone else wanted to know what the purpose of the tail rotor is.
Pilot question.
So main rotor blades from tip to tip on the other side, 33 feet.
33 feet, if you guys didn't hear that.
The tail rotor, it keeps the back of the helicopter in place while we're in a hover. So when we're in forward flight, the fin in the back keeps the tail back there. When we're in a hover, the tail rotor does all the work. Offsets torque.
Cool. Did you guys catch that?
I think so. He said it helps keep the helicopter in place when you're hovering.
Hovering.
Yep.
Yeah, so just sitting still a couple feet off the ground, the tail rotor keeps the helicopter from just spinning in a circle. Because if we didn't have the tail rotor, the tail would want to spin as fast as the main rotor blades.
It's like not having a fin on a paddleboard.
Third law of motion, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
There you
So you have to offset the rotors with the tail rotor. Helicopters are one big oxymoron. So that's about it.
Thank you. Any more questions for us?
Yeah, someone wanted to know what the big H on the ground is.
The big H on the ground. Let's see. This will identify a hospital helipad. I don't know if you guys can see it from this angle here, but
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah. And someone else wanted to know if you have problems with drones ever.
that was a quick yes from our pilot.
Don't fly them around hospitals or airports. People like to do it, and it's very frowned upon by the FAA and pilots.
Us med crews, we don't care for them either.
Yeah, they're everywhere now.
Yeah, it could prevent us from landing on a scene. If we saw a drone, we would be unable to approach an emergency landing zone. Same with firefighting helicopters. If they see a drone, they would not be able to proceed with firefighting.
Shut down all
Yep.
firefighting operations.
Yeah, they shut down all firefighting operations if a drone is seen within the area or reported.
Oh, all right. Someone would like to know what's the difference between a regular helicopter and an emergency helicopter.
So I would say there's not too much of a difference with the helicopter itself. With an emergency helicopter, it's a medically configured helicopter, so we can transport a patient inside. So I would say there's not a big difference. There are just preferences for different helicopters and different altitudes. So our helicopter does very well up here in the high elevation. I've also flown search and rescue in the Gulf of Mexico, and we could have different helicopters there that didn't require as much power like we need up here.
We all want to thank you guys for showing up and being a part of this. We're really sorry that we weren't able to do the live Zoom event, maybe sometime in the future, but I thought this was still really pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a true pleasure to be able to serve the community. So thank you for all of the support and just a great community.
And thank you all so much for doing this. This was super fun, and we're all going to be looking forward to the video where we'll get to fly with you.